Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is xxsewaxx, and all I have to say is I'm sorry for not uploading in the last month. Like, this is deadline season, I cannot lie to you. This is not even deadline season. Psychology just wants to kill me, but it's alright because my God is greater, you know. But over the couple of weeks I've had like the urge to do basically my faith journey. I feel like it's about time now to start talking about, you know, how I actually became a Christian, or how I became saved, the ups, the downs, the struggles, the doubts, the praises, the glory of God, everything. I feel like it's now time, yeah, to talk about it. So stay here till the end, make sure you watch everything, take in the details that I'm saying, because you could be going through something that I've gone through. We're going through this together. I've actually never spoken about my faith journey to a lot of people. It's just something that's in my heart and in my head, you know. So this is going to be a nice little video. First of all, hit that subscribe button because there's going to be more content coming your way. More content. Everything I say is always something that I believe God wants me to say on this channel. Let's start my faith journey. I would say my faith journey started pretty young. The earliest memory I have yet of where I knew God was real in terms of I could actually feel his presence, I believe I was the ages between 7 to 11. I was definitely in primary school, that's for sure. Definitely in primary school, I believe. Basically something had gone on, and the way somebody in my family was shouting at me and the words that they were using were very like, you know, words like you're an idiot, I should have done this, should have done that. Just basically a lot of negative words were being spoken upon me. It was hurtful, very, very hurtful, as you can imagine at that age. So I must have been just crying because I just felt like, why was I born in this family? Like, whew, this is harder than I thought it'd be. Jesus. This is harder than I thought it'd be. But basically, yeah, just why was I kind of like born in this family type thing. Like I was just very, very upset and crying and crying. And the type of cry, you know, the type of cry when your your soul is leaving your body. That type of cry, I was crying. So obviously I was very, very upset. Then towards the end, yeah, I just felt this light. I just felt this, like, the presence, I can call it the presence of God because that's exactly what it was. And literally peace and joy entered my heart. Like, I believe God really must have been seeing me crying like that and then put his hand over me, and from that I felt like so much more better, and I just felt like, you know what, I can just live again, you know what I mean? I just felt so much more positive. I cannot explain it to you. It's a feeling that you feel when you know that God is around you, basically just saying it's okay. I've always had an essence of, you know, God is being told to you, you know, we have to give glory to God, you know, thank God, those kind of small things, yeah, in my household. However, we didn't religiously go to church. Like, we occasionally went to church, you know what I mean, like the whole, you know, crossover service, so that's the 31st night to going into the new year. Just occasionally going whenever my mum felt like it was time to go. It was not a thing that we did weekly, let alone monthly. There was months on end that I did not go to church my whole life because I didn't grow up, you know, really going to church like that. To finish off what I was saying, I had an essence of who God was. So in that moment when I felt God's presence, I didn't know who God was like that, but I knew there was a certain type of peace and something of higher power. So it was most definitely God. Cool, moving forward now, I just, you live your life, you know who God is, whatever. Well, you think you know who God is, you know, go to secondary school, just enjoy it. I'm the type of girl, yeah, I'm just a calm girl. Like, there's no other way to really put it. I'm just a calm girl. So, you know, I have my girls, I'm a girl's girl, so I have my girlfriend in secondary school, I believe it was. So, you know, just growing, whatever. I like my sports, I like my education-ish. Did not like teachers, but that's a separate conversation. And then I kind of like got to the age of when GCSEs were coming, I said, Jesus. I did not know GCSEs were coming. I was like, what is this? Like, do you know how you go through secondary school? Yeah, there's a time when you just start doing exams. Like for a good year 7 to year 9, yeah, you're not doing exams like that. So when year 9 hits, yeah, they're telling me that real GCSEs are next year. I said, huh? So at that point, yeah, I was getting a bit worried because I was like, damn, how am I going to do this? So, you know, I relied on God a bit more at that stage. Like, kind of like, oh God, what should I do? Like, oh my gosh, like, well, you know, small prayers, you know, before the exam, that type of life. So then we got to year 11 now. My GCSE experience was not easy, but that's a conversation for a different day. Basically, my predicted grades for my GCSEs were just horrid, and I didn't know where I. And then so I'm thinking, how am I going to get these grades up? Like, as in, when I say history was a good fit, well, a solid E. It was a solid E. So I kind of had to, you know, again, rely on God by faith. I was thinking God's gonna help me through this because I do not know how. Obviously I put in the work, I revised, revision notes, all plastered around my room, all of that stuff. But like, it was a thing where I had to put my faith in God because for me, yeah, exam success is not because, oh yeah, I revised and I did. No, because you can revise and one question will come and slap you in the face and then you're stuck. So I really believe that God is who you need to rely on when it comes to exams, as well as obviously putting in the hard work. Because GCSEs were so hard, yeah, and I didn't really know how I was going to get through it. I think there was a time when my friend Manuela, who is my she is, you know, the sister in Christ, you know, the person who is the one who's just there for you when it comes to Christ, like that person, that's Manuela. Because really and truly, she's the one who introduced me to church. So she said to me one day, oh, you should come to my church service. And for me, around that time, yeah, because obviously, like I said, we didn't go to church. I'm trying to go to church kind of like on the sly. So I remember my friend Asia invited me to church, and I went to one of her services because I didn't know how my mom would react. Like, yeah, so it's a bit weird, but you know, that's what it was. So then when Manuela then invited me to church, I was like, yes, like I want to go. Like there was a thing missing in my heart, yeah, that I knew it was missing, but it's like I didn't know that church was the one that was going to fix it. So now I'm invited to church. I go to the first church service. I remember it was a Valentine's Day service, so it must have been in February. And I just really liked how they were explaining the Bible and how they were explaining who God is and what they were just talking about. I liked the fact that the pastor was teaching me something I did not know of, and something that I knew was going to actually build me and was actually going to have an impact. Not algebra, I'm joking, but you know what I mean, like it was something that was actually going to change me for the better. So I remember I went to that service, and from there I was kind of sold. Like I was like, yeah, this is the bit that's been missing in my heart all this time. Church or God, do you know what I mean? Like just properly having a relationship with God. So that's why when people say when were you saved, I technically say 16 years old, because that's when I started having a knowledge of who God is, yeah, what Christianity is, the faith, all of that stuff. Before I kind of had, because that's the thing about when you I feel like a lot of people's stories, yeah, is a thing where you felt God first, you had an experience, but then you learned the Christian ways. It's not you learned the Christian ways and then because at the end of the day, learning something can be very bland. Do you know what I mean? You're not actually going to believe a whole God is real, yeah, unless you've experienced him. So for me, it was a thing where I experienced God, then I started going to church and, you know, getting a knowledge of who God is and, you know, growing in my faith. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. I hope it wasn't too like around, you know what I mean? But basically I was saved at 16 in terms of that's when I made the decision that I'm gonna live a godly life. Like everything from then, you know, purity. First of all, I'm a virgin, like let's just get that out there, you know, let's just get it out there. But first of all so, but you know, when your thoughts are impure, do you know what I mean? So my thoughts were impure, but from that point of when I was saved, I started to understand the fact that they are impure and how we're gonna really move and work out of that, which is I'm gonna delve deeper into that in the later of this video. I'm so sorry, this video is gonna be 20 minutes. It's gonna be 20 minutes, I can't lie to you, but you know it's a detailed one, and we can't cut the glory of God short. Like it has to be as long as it has to be. So I guess from that point now, I can now say that, you know, obviously my A-levels were good, you know, 6 A's, 3 B's, 1 C, and that I was the type of person who never got A's, by the way, never ever in this life. So it was very much an achievement, it was very much God, and that was my kind of like finishing secondary school, age 16, moving on now to like the time of my life, which was like A-levels. During A-levels now, obviously it was a very hard time, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. I was very much at my lowest. So in that time of basically teachers telling you that you're gonna fail, that you shouldn't even bother applying to universities, that you're that just basically saying that you're the bottom of the class, and the thing is, I actually wasn't. I'm a slow learner, yes, but I was just a slow learner, and the beginning of my A-levels experience was horrendous because of the teachers in that school. I changed from my secondary school to a sixth form college, so that experience there, yeah, was what was very tough because the teachers were just so rude and mean to me, specifically my biology teachers, in which I will say in the video when I talk about it. But basically, because I was getting so much negative words spoken upon me, and bearing in mind I'm a very strong girl in terms of what I've had to take in my household, has really prepared me for life. So when it comes to sixth form, it's not a thing where I'm gonna cry about it, but it's a thing where it's affecting me subconsciously. The words that they're saying are affecting me subconsciously. I am now thinking I am dumb. I am now thinking that I'm not gonna make university and stuff like that, and it's just that it was just tough, yeah. So you know how A-levels, everyone knows it was a bit depressive. Like, it was a struggle for most people. So you know when you apply to 5 places, UCAS, I got rejected from all 3. So I only had 2 anyway. So it wasn't a thing where, oh yeah, she has an option. No, it was by force. I had my insurance and then my main one. So it's a thing where once that had happened, I just felt hopeless. Like, I did not know where I was going, if I was going to university. I hated my A-levels. No, not the courses, I hate the teachers, I hate the school. What else about it? I just felt like it was unnecessarily hard. Like, the workload did not make sense. It did not make sense. I had 3 subjects, but why have you done quadruple of the workload? You would think after GCSEs, I'm not gonna start on that, but basically it was just very, very hard for me. And it's a thing where in my head mentally I did not see the bright side. There's a time in your life where you do not see the bright side. You literally just feel like the moment that you're in right now is gonna last forever. You do not think that I'm gonna step out of this and be able to smile again. You don't think I'm gonna step out of this and be happy. The laughing I was doing back then was not genuine. I genuinely did not feel happy. I was not at peace. There was no joy whatsoever. All I could think of is the fact that I'm not going anywhere. Like, that's it. Life was just so dark. There was nothing. You're thinking, why am I even here? Why am I on earth? Like, what is there to do? What am I going to accomplish? There was no hope whatsoever. I can't remember what exactly the shift was. Oh, that's it. Crying. When I tell you crying, hey, crying, yeah, is a remedy. Crying is a remedy. Did you hear what I said? Because when I feel like this is probably why I don't cry anymore. This is probably why I don't cry anymore, because I've cried all the tears in my body. I've cried out my whole life here that there's just no tears left to cry. But anyways, I think this was the shift where I just looked into myself in the mirror and I couldn't recognize myself. I couldn't recognize myself. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't happy. I was seeing the person in there, but it was as if I was just a still body. There was nothing going on inside of me. My spirit was just probably not even there. Like, it was just not it. Like, I could not recognize myself. I did not think that was Showa. It was more like, what is that? Who is that? Who am I? I had nothing. I had no identity. I think I released a lot of the emotions and I was able to kind of cry out to God, because at that time of A-levels, I cannot lie to you, I was not speaking to God. I was not speaking to God. I was not bringing him into it. I was not trying to because at this point I just felt like I was alone and I was by myself and there was nothing anyone could do, including God, to take me out of this situation. Now, moving forward now, I cried. Then after that, I felt better. So I felt better, I felt more hopeful, and I think I made a shift again where it was like I made a decision to not allow my circumstances to define me. So I made a decision that by force and by fire, I'm going to put in the work, because I now know, I don't know why, but I now know God is going to do the rest. As long as I put in the work, God is going to do the rest. And he 100% did that with my A-levels. I just want to quickly shout out in there that I went from a predicted grade of C, D, E, and I actually got in my A-levels BBC. So you can see the glory of God coming in there, plus hard work as well. Like, I can tell you that for sure. And plus the teacher's not actually marking my paper, so you know I had an unbiased person. God really showed me who he was in that time. And when I got my A-level results, I then knew never to doubt God. Well, at the time I thought, but I then knew at that time to never to doubt God. I knew that I didn't think God would always bring me out of it. I can suffer, but God would bring me out of it. And from that I was solidified, because I was saying to myself, God, if you can make me go to university and you give me decent grades, Lord have mercy, I will never limit you to a small box again. I was like, I will never, because I will know that you've done it before, so you can do it again. That was exactly my conversation with God. Like, it was a process, my A-levels, especially year 12 was the worst, but in that time I was relying more on God. Like, it was a thing where I know God's gonna do it, God can do it, so in God's hands. Like, that A-level experience was what really built my faith, I'd say. It's what really built my faith a lot. I think for me, yeah, what I want to really talk about in this video as well is also church and the importance of going to church. I am not the woman I am today because of me. It's because of the fact that I've gone to church and learned from other people. I've listened to the word and I've taken it back and I've like gone over it in my own time and able to know that, okay, is God real? There's been doubts, do not get it twisted. I've had doubts. I've had doubts so far to the extent that I was just thinking, how can Christianity be real? I was like, how can it be real? Because why is there so many religions and all of us think that, you know, our religion is right? All of we think that is correct. Purely in my heart, I cannot lie to you, I was just thinking, it doesn't make sense. People who are Muslim are getting the same kind of rewards or the same benefits of God, but apparently they're serving a different God. So I had to really learn, and I sat down, I done my research, I tried to learn more about the Quran and learn more about the Muslim faith and stuff like that. And you know how people say, oh yeah, it's very similar to Christianity? Okay, on the surface it's very similar to Christianity, but on the inside it's not at all. Very, very different. Like, okay, cool, Holy Spirit, we all left the parking lot, but the directions we went to were completely different. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's basically what I feel like Christianity and Muslim faith is. It's okay, cool, they started like this, but they went off completely different routes. And how I personally came to the conclusion that Christianity was the way forward and it was the real pathway God wanted me to follow, was when obviously me and my family, we went to Nigeria now. And Nigeria is a very spiritual country in terms of their spirits. There are spirits roaming around that place, left, right and center, and they're not good spirits. So there was a time when I was actually like confused and scared because I was seeing a lot of crazy stuff happen in front of me, yeah? As in, I'm not going to say people were flying, but they were most definitely off the ground for a bit longer than humanly possible. So at that time of my life, yeah, I was just looking, and this is in Nigeria, I was just looking, I was thinking, God, hey, this ain't right. This ain't right. 2 times this happened while I was in Nigeria. And the first time, God showed me a passage in the Bible where I realized that some of the things that they are practicing, it's not that it is not of God, it's a thing where it is the Old Testament. So I was seeing a lot of the behaviors of the Old Testament, but at that time in my life, I was in it was year 12 summer. I didn't know the Bible like that, so it was a thing where I didn't know that the things that they're practicing was once okay in terms of in the Old Testament, but we do not do those things anymore. But I was thinking, hey Lord, this is demon. I was thinking, this is what kind of voodoo is going on around me. I need to, like, God, take me out of the situation. But then God showed me a passage. Literally, I just opened my phone and the word of the day was something about that, and then I clicked the whole chapter, read the whole chapter. Then I realized that, okay, this is not necessarily a thing where it's like, you know, demonic. So after that, that was the first time God showed himself in Nigeria. And then the second time again was when I was saying I was seeing people kind of, you know, not flying, but, you know, levitating a bit too long in the air. And I was like, what is going on? Lord, help me, this is not right. And as I was in that fear, yeah, I just started speaking in tongues. And if you understand what tongues is, yeah, the Holy Spirit language, so that's how basically we communicate with God, and like the devil and stuff can't hear. It wasn't a thing where I was so confident in my faith, yeah, that I could be doing switching up into tongues, English, yeah, tongues, English, nah, no. It was a thing where I was not even thinking, yeah, let's speak tongues, because at that time in my life I wasn't that comfortable in speaking tongues outside of church or even just in general in my house. No, it wasn't a thing where I just start speaking tongues. But at that time when I was in Nigeria and I was kind of scared, and I was like, what's going on? Is this evil spirits? I just started speaking in tongues underneath my breath, and then I knew that that was the Holy Spirit showing me that, you know what, God is here, God is real, Christianity is the way, God is with me, God is most definitely talking, and I am a child of God, I am a child of the Christian faith, and he's proven himself way too many times before for me to even be doubting that this is God. I will never know why there's so many religions. What I do know is what God has done for me, and I do know the faith that I've been pulled to, if that makes sense. So I can't speak for other faiths, I can't speak for other religions. I can only speak for the one that I have, and the one that's gotten me this far, and the one that I can, you know, talk about to you guys. So basically what I'm trying to explain is that I've had my doubts, and through that God has definitely revealed himself to me. While I'm on doubts quickly, there was a time in my life recently where I started reading the Bible from beginning to end, and I was just thinking, some of the things that I've learned from church about how loving and how fantastic God is, yeah, I was not seeing it being, you know, showed specifically Exodus. I was not seeing it, and I was just thinking, like, what is going on? Like, the idea of who I know God to be, why is it that he's capable of, you know, just killing people off, or causing, you know, Pharaoh's heart to be hardened so that he doesn't, you know, take the people out of slavery, so that he doesn't let them go. So many things were happening, and I know the whole, so God's glory and power can be shown But that's not how I'm reading it, and that's not how a lot of people are reading it in terms of why people probably don't follow the Christian faith. And for me, I basically just felt like, who is God? But again, God showed his glory. God showed who he was to me, and it's a thing where God actually showed me through a prophecy. The woman said to me that the spirit of confusion is on your head and that the devil is attacking your mind. And when she said that, I was so confident that that is the reason why, because the way I had been feeling, it was definitely a spirit of confusion. It's just, I've never felt like that before. Like, I was beyond confused. I was just thinking who God is, and when you're questioning who God is, yeah, an unstable mind, whoo, that's the worst. That's the worst, where you don't know what side to pick because you're over confusion. I was like, that isn't me. I'm usually confident, you know, in my faith, in what I'm going. I can give you what the reasons why, I can back it up, all of that stuff. But with this, I was just so confused, and I was thinking, but I'm reading this from your word, God. Why is it that the actions that you're doing is not portraying, is not seeming like love to me? I have a lot of questions about the Bible as well, but it's only questions God can answer. And the thing is, the questions that I have can never ever oppose the actions that God has done in my life. Who God has shown himself to be in my life, what God has done in my life, what he's done in my friend's life, what I've seen God's being introduced to people and it changing their life magnificently for the better. Everything that's happened can never kind of like, you know, twist who God is, because I know who God is through experiences and obviously his word, specifically the New Testament. I know who God is through that. And some of the things that I've seen, you know, God do in the Old Testament, although I may not understand it, that's not to say that he is now evil or he is now nothing that I've ever experienced him to be. Absolutely not. It means there's still more to learn. It means there's still more to understand. It means that I have more to do. Like, there is still a journey ahead of me. I am not at my peak, and I will get there. That's what it means. It means that you do not know everything, Showa. In that time that I was having doubts, I never stopped going to church. Absolutely not. I did not. I prayed 100%, because at the end of the day, why would I stop doing all the things that I know are good for me because I'm now going through a season of drought? Just because you might be feeling not your optimum does not now mean you should stop the things that are good for you. Just because you don't feel to go to the gym, work out, eat healthy today does not mean that going to the gym is not good for you. Do you get me? It's better for me to go to church and experience God in some type of way and fight off the devil in some type of way than for me to be in my house, in my bed, lying down, and the devil is attacking me left, right and center, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing. That's what we need to also understand. That's what I want to say in this video. Whether you like it or not, the spiritual realm is real. This is not a joke. Like, the spiritual realm is real. I do not understand how you can sit there and say it's not. I'm sorry, no, it is real. Listen to the words that I'm saying. What is going on? Like, I don't understand how people can be it is real. It is real. Like, how many times I have to show you that this spiritual realm is very real? You are either on God's side, which is the light, or you're automatically with the devil, which is the dark, because he is controlling you whether you like it or not. So it's the thing where if you do not continuously try and seek God, the devil has got you like this and he is playing with your mind. That depression is not from God. Regardless of anything, even when you're a child of God, you can get attacked by the devil. How much more than if you are not a child of God? I'm not going to say Christianity is easy, because it's not. But it's easier to be with God than without him. And I can tell you that from experience. You're either with God or you're against him. If you're against him, you're with the devil. And the devil does not love you. The devil does not have love. So he is most definitely trying to ruin your life. He will even give you all the things that you desire, such as money, all of that stuff, to distract you from the true thing that your heart is craving, which is God's love. All of us was made from God, so we are craving God's love one way or another. Some people are just finding it in other ways that the devil is planting in them. I could speak for years on this video, but I don't want it to be too long. I could speak for years. I could speak, but I do not want this video to go and be an hour. I was going to speak about purity in this video, but I do think that is something I'm going to hold off for the next video, just because this video is getting quite long. But temptations, lust has been a ginormous struggle for, I think, everybody. I used to think I was alone, but I'm not. Everybody has experienced it, is experiencing it, and the only way I've overcome it slightly... Oh! I'm sorry, I'm going to save it for the next video. I'm sorry! Subscribe! No, just subscribe. Just subscribe now, because the video that I'm going to give in the future will definitely describe the whole purity and how I overcome it ish, because I don't think you can fully overcome it, because remember, you need some of that, like, I'll speak, I'll go in, don't worry. This journey has not been easy, but it's been a wonderful journey. I thank God that I know God, because if I did not know God, I'd be lost in the world. Hopelessness, purposelessness. I don't know if that's a word, but I'd be so lost. I'm happy because with God I know my purpose. With God I know there's direction. With God I know there's peace, there's joy, there's understanding. I know that there's health. You know, think the coronavirus is running around, and I know with God that there is health. He has healing, so I do not have to worry. So yeah, I just want to know, this faith journey it's been something. I'm still on the journey. You can never be off the journey, because there's always different areas in your life where you're changing. Even when I get my degree, that's another area that I'm going to be changing. I'm going to need God again. I'm going to learn new things when I get into the working world. When I start going higher in where God is calling me to be, there's going to be areas that I've never even experienced, never even visioned before. But because God is going to be the one consistent thing, I will get through it. Anyways, thank you for coming and watching my video. I hope you hit that subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, because I believe everybody needs to hear this. Anyways, there's going to be much more content coming up my way. I am eventually in the future going to, you know, do some beauty as well, like not necessarily makeup, but unless you want it, but definitely like, because my natural hair, I do think that's something I want to start taking seriously, and then start giving advice on that. So just watch out, mate, and just hit that subscribe button. Thank you and goodbye. I know that God is real. Oh, sorry, God is real. Just wanted to let you know, if you didn't know. Stay on this journey and you'll find out.